Okay, today I'm going to do a review of the StatGear. It's a tactical auto rescue knife that I got. This is the knife itself. This is a box that it comes in, and then it comes with a little nylon sheath. It's decent quality. I don't use it. I carry it in my bunker pants pocket, so I don't use the sheath. But if you want to carry it with a sheath, it's a nice sheath. It would do fine. Maybe if you're a patrol officer or something like that, and you wanted to use it, carry on your belt, you could. Just on the stats of the knife itself, it's got a shredded blade. It's 440C stainless, which is good quality steel knife. The blade itself, the cutting surface itself, is 3 1/8 inches from here to here. It's regular blade here, serrated here. It's got a seatbelt cutter, also 440 stainless, and then it's got a spring-loaded pin punch right here, and then I'm going to go over all the details of all these different features that it has. And then it's also got, on the blade side, it's got a little LED flashlight. That's probably the most, I won't say useless, there could be a time where it could come in handy. It's not real bright, but I didn't buy it for a flashlight, so I could really care less about that. One of the things, if you may notice on it, that I did on mine, I put a little piece of cord on here, and this is some cord I got on Amazon. I think it's a little over 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's got a 325-pound tensile strength. And I just basically put a double fisherman in it. Put a double fisherman in it where I can adjust the length of this cord. And the reason I did that if I'm out on a scene, if I want to wrap it on my wrist, because you know it is, you get on a scene or you're inside or whatever and you drop something and it's almost impossible to find at that point. So if I'm using it on a scene, I can wrap it around my wrist. Makes it easier to get out of my bunker pants pocket too. I can grab the string and pull it out. And that's the only reason I did that. And the reason I went with this cord, one, I had to find a cord that was small enough to fit through those holes. And then two, 325-pound tensile strength. If this thing gets tied up or locked up on something and I can't get loose, I could break a 325-pound tensile strength string. So if I had to, I could pull that and break it loose, especially with those edges right there. So anyway, that's just something I added onto mine. I'll put a link in the description to this cord if you're interested in it, to add it on yours. I like having it on there. Okay, going with the blade. The blade is very, very stout. It's very sharp. I have used it to, it's not really good use for it. I've used it to pry locks open with. I have punctured tires with it on extrications, and I mean it's nothing. It just, one of the things that I really like about the thing, it's 6 ounces. I weighed the whole thing at 6 ounces. It's a very substantial knife, so it's got some weight behind it. So it's not like you take a regular size pocket knife and if you want to puncture a tire, or you want to dig into something and really cut into something, it has some weight behind it, which to me makes it easier to use and more functional. The blade, I've been using it, like I said, for a month and a half, and I've used it through a week-long extrication class, and I used it to cut a lot of stuff in there, and the blade is still in really good shape, and that's still without having sharpened it. Being 440 stainless, it should take a sharpening really good, and it holds, so far it's held the edge really nice. Okay, and then you go back down here and then onto the seatbelt cutter. And the thing I like about the seatbelt cutter, a lot of knives have just a little notch inside that you put down onto the seatbelt. Good thing about this one is that it's actual blade, and it's the 440 stainless. It's very sharp, and it works really good. And you can, other than the ones that are built into the knife right here, where you just take I've got a piece of seatbelt. The other ones, you just kind of take it and you stick it down in there. You can run it through there. There's no real way of sharpening those. So I like this one better, that I could just take a round file or a round sharpening stone and sharpen this when it does get dull. So far, it's done really well. And I'm going to come through here. I've got a piece of, and if you cut seatbelts, you can't cut a seatbelt loose like that. The thing when cutting a seatbelt, you got to get it pulled tight. So I've got it clamped down over here. So if you pull your seatbelt tight, put this thing in here at somewhat of an angle, and it cuts right through it. I mean, it works really good. And then the other thing I was going to show you too, that sometimes it's hard, depending on where your belt is, sometimes it's hard to get a good angle on it. If you can't get in there and get it tight to use a regular seatbelt cutter, the knife blade itself, it does a good job cutting seatbelts too. So far I've used it, like I said, I've used it for jimmy and locks, I've used it for cutting seatbelts, I've used it for cutting backs out of seats themselves, I've used it for puncturing tires. So far it's worked really good. And I like like I said, I like the weight out of it, it feels solid. And then the other feature that it has that I really like is it's got this spring-loaded pin punch. And I've used it, I think I've used it on a scene once or twice, and I've used it in that extrication class a lot. And I have a video, so I'm going to cut out here and then I'm going to go into the video and actually show you a video with this. The thing about it is, like, it's not much pressure at all. It's just nice even pressure. I mean, the knife may give in a little bit, but if you got something you got to push real hard, you always take that chance of, you know, you're pushing yourself all the way through the window, and I mean, you take a chance of cutting yourself, but should have gloves on, and that tempered glass is going to shatter into a million pieces anyway. But it's very little pressure for this pin punch to actually work, so I'm going to cut out and show you the video on that, how that works. Okay, as you can see, that thing works pretty good. Anyway, overall, I mean, I really like this knife. Like I said, it's got the sheath with it. If you don't want it, no big deal. But everything about it I like. Like I said, personally, I carry mine in my bunker pants. I got this rope where I can get it out quick, and then I can wrap it around my wrist. So anyway, I'll have a link in the description if you're interested in purchasing one of these. I think it's close to around $38 on Amazon, and I think it was Prime eligible, where you get free shipping on it. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you got any questions or comments about it, leave them down there in the comment section, and I will get back with you. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe.